best to patch them up. I'd like to think I did my part in combat, too, shooting searing rays of light out of my fingers, stunning enemies with thunderclaps of sonic energy. Sometimes I'd summon a giant badger from the celestial plains and command it to do my bidding. Few things end a fight quicker than a magical weasel chewing on your opponent's leg.
I am not a wizard, but I play one every Tuesday night. To be nerdy about it, and trust me, there is no other way to approach this, I am a divine spellcaster, a lawful neutral 12th level cleric. In the world of Dungeons & Dragons, that makes me a pretty major badass. Dungeons & Dragons, or D&D to the initiated, is a game played at a table, usually by around half a dozen participants. It's sold in stores and has specific rules, like Monopoly or Scrabble, but is otherwise radically different. D&D is a role-playing game, one where participants control characters in a world that exists largely in their collective imagination. Even if you've never played D&D, you've probably heard of it. And when I admitted I'm a player, your subconscious mind probably filed me under nerds hopeless, unless you happen to be one of us. Role-playing games don't have a great reputation. In movies and TV shows, D&D serves as a signal of outsider status. It's how you know a character's a hopeless geek. A rulebook and a bunch of weird-shaped dice is to nerds what a black hat is to the villain in a cowboy movie. Most people know D&D only as some strange thing the math club did in the corner of the high school cafeteria, or the hobby of the creepy goth kid down the street. Even worse, they have the vague sense it's deviant or satanic. Don't D&D players run around in the woods and worship demons, or commit suicide when they lose a game? Admitting you play Dungeons & Dragons is only slightly less stigmatizing than confessing cruelty to animals or that you wet the bed. It is not to be done in polite company. But I am immune to your scorn. I know magic.
Jaden, Abel, Ganubi, and I are freedom fighters. The shared politics that brought us together in that bar are more profound than liberal or conservative. We're all proponents of an active approach to humanity's problems. We want to organize the workers of the world and to strike out against those who would hold us in bondage. In contrast, our opponents fear change. They don't want to upset their comfortable bourgeois lives or take risks that might overturn the political order. Time is on our side, they say. Real progress occurs slowly, over generations. They think we should wait and things will work themselves out. It's so cowardly and stupid. You can't wait out vampires.
Let's start with a brief overview for the uninitiated. Dungeons & Dragons takes place within a fantasy world that is invented by its players, but inspired by centuries of storytelling and literature. Books like J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings help set the tone, heroic knights and wise old magicians battling the forces of evil. A typical D&D session might find a party of adventurers setting off to search an underground cave system for treasure and having to fight all the slobbering monsters lurking in the dark. But D&D isn't a board game with a pre-printed map and randomized gameplay. Roll a die, move 4 spaces closer to the treasure, pick up a card. You got scared by a goblin, go back 2 spaces. Instead, each setting is conceived in advance by one of the participants and then actively navigated by the players. The person who does all the prep work is called the Dungeon Master, or DM. It's his job to dream up a scenario, something like, archaeologists have discovered a pharaoh's tomb in the desert, and the players are grave robbers who have to break in and steal the hidden treasure. He also has to sketch out the details, like making a map and deciding where the traps are, where the treasure is, and what monsters are guarding it. This active creation gives the players an unknown world to explore, and keeps each game session different from the last. It's sort of like sitting down to play Monopoly, except you can't see the names or costs of the properties until you land on them. An experienced DM takes game design even further. He might decide the players should start out in a Bedouin camp near the tomb and negotiate with the sheik to buy a couple camels. He could plan for them to be waylaid by desert raiders on the way to the tomb. And once they've found the pharaoh's treasure, he may ask them to make a moral choice. The treasure carries a curse, and if it's removed from the tomb, the region will suffer 10 years of famine.